to the Not So Traveling Introvert. Today I want to talk about recharge time and weekends. So I was recently working with a group during one of our online co-working sessions, and the statement came up that weekends are a social construct. And so why do weekends matter? Unlike the 24-hour daily rotation of the Earth, or its year-long journey around the sun, the 7-day week specifically is purely a social construct. The 2-day weekend was in part born from another economic crisis. So during the Great Depression in the 1930s, many industries that had not yet adopted the 40-hour work week cut employee schedules back from 7 days to 5 days a week so that fewer working hours could be distributed among more people, right? And so this led to the weekend, these 2 days off where people did not go to their regular jobs. However, speaking to a lot of people recently, I asked them what days do they take off, because we happened to be working on a Saturday. And the overwhelming response was they did not take time off. They did not take one specific day off, or 2 days off, or even 3 days off in a week to recharge. They mentioned that they recharge by sleeping, and also just by taking a little time every day to recharge, rather than keeping 2 days at the end, in the middle, or wherever of the week to get their energy back. And so having a weekend wasn't really a thing for them. And this led to further conversation about weekends and why they're helpful or why they're not helpful. And right now, because there is such a blur between home life and work life, and because people just don't see the blurred lines and the differences there, they don't tend to take weekends. And they don't seem to see how that could have health effects later on down the line. Now, there is a couple people who where Wednesday is a weekend day, and so they have Wednesday off and Saturday off, or Wednesday off and Sunday off, and so they split up their weekend. Some people have a 3-day weekend, so they work 4 days on, 3 days off, 4 days on, 3 days off to recharge. I do think that recharge time is very personal, and maybe having 2 days off at the end of the week doesn't work for you. It is. Your weekend doesn't have to be the weekend. And if you do not take 2 days at the weekend, what do you call those days off that you take? Do you call them midweek weekends? Do you call them Wednesdays? What do you do? But humans are a creature of habit. So having a schedule when we work and when we don't work is hugely important. It doesn't matter what that schedule is. It's just that the schedule needs to exist. So try and figure out when you can do things that are creative, things that are fun. It doesn't matter what is in your routine, just the fact that you do have a routine, because that's how we work well as humans. So it doesn't matter if your weekends are your weekends, or your midweek are your weekends, or you only work 4 hours a day. Whatever it is, figure out what works for you and use that to your advantage. How you recharge and what you're doing during those recharges is really important, but also having something to look forward to. One of the challenges people are currently facing is that every day kind of melds into another. If you ask someone what they did last Tuesday, they're like, Tuesday? When was Tuesday? What was Tuesday? So having these little pockets of time where you do things that are creative and then you recharge and you have something to look forward to really helps your brain remember what happened when. And so even if it's appointments or like virtual dates or games or whatever it might be, or just baking at home, like one day on this particular day, every Tuesday I bake, for example, having something to look forward to and having that delineation helps you remember and define time. That's just kind of the way our minds work. So I guess the question is, do weekends really matter? Yes, to a degree, but it doesn't have to be at the weekend. I'd love to know what you do to recharge and what times of the week you set aside to do recharging. Thank you for listening. This is Janice at thecareerintrovert.com, helping you build your brand and get hired. Have a great rest of your week.